At 7 o'clock, we have arguably the most fascinating window. And I'll start with, in my opinion, one of the more interesting football games. We got number 1, Georgia, who's 9-0, traveling to Mississippi State, who is 6-3. Georgia favored by 16 points on ESPN. Stetson Bennett has gone 198 at 292, thrown for 2,606 yards, 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Dacian Edwards on the ground has had 87 carries for 486 yards and 7 touchdowns. And Brock Bowers has had 34 catches for 574 yards and 3 touchdowns. Will Rogers has gone 300 at 439, thrown for 2,912 yards, 26 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Dylan Johnson on the ground has had 71 carries for 406 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Rara Thomas has had 36 catches for 540 yards and 5 touchdowns. Georgia is 19-6 against Mississippi State all time. Last 3 games have gone to Georgia from 2011 to 2020. 2010 was the last time Mississippi State won at home against Georgia. So it's been a while. 12 years? 12 years. This game's going to be interesting, right? Georgia's coming off a big win against Tennessee, right? But you know what happens normally with big wins? They turn into letdowns. Letdown games are common after big football games. You're going to ask a lot of teams, but this is typically, after a big win, a letdown game. A chance for a letdown game is, and you're playing Mississippi State in Starksville. It's a tough one. Mississippi State, they started off the season very strong. They were eliminated pretty quickly from playoff contention. Not super quickly, but like they didn't last super long in playoff contention. But I'd say Mississippi State is a good football team. I still think that they're 6-3. They're playing some good football right now. Will Rogers is playing one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, I would say. Will Rogers is good. He's a good quarterback. Stetson Bennett really showed what he could do with Georgia. I still have some doubts, if I'm going to be honest. The Tennessee game did not shake my head out of some of these doubts that I still have about this Georgia football team. I don't know if I really trust anyone at receiver outside of Brock Bowers. Last year you had George Pickens. George Pickens was an elite receiver. George Pickens is proving that he is a good receiver in the NFL. I don't think that about McConkey. I don't think that about a lot of your other players. Your run game is why you were halfway decent. I'll say that much. Not halfway decent. You're really good. Your run game is what keeps you in games. Your running back's ability to catch balls out of the backfield is what keeps you in games. Brock Bowers being an elite man keeps you in games. Your wide receiver core does not. And it scares me heading into the future how teams are going to play that receiving core. You got Tennessee because guess what? Tennessee does not have the best secondary in the world. That is their big weakness. But if you play a team with a good secondary, like if you play Michigan, you play Ohio State, I think it's tough. I think it's going to be a tough game for you to win if you're Georgia. Brock Bowers probably matches up well in the tight end linebackers, so you can get it to him a lot. But I'm just saying, your receivers are probably not going to get open that much. I think Mississippi State keeps it close here, if I'm going to be honest. I think Georgia has a letdown game. I think Georgia ekes out a victory here, but I think Mississippi State keeps it way too close in Starksville.